Welcome to Grit to Glow, the podcast for moms, entrepreneurs, and women ready to step into their power. I'm Naomi, your host, mama, business coach, and unapologetic go-getter. Here, we're keeping it real. We will dive into the unfiltered heart of motherhood, entrepreneurship, and some of life's messiest moments. Because let's face it, growth doesn't happen without the grit. But the glow, that, my friends, is the magic that we create. You can expect tangible life and business support, juicy insights, and the raw truth about what it really takes to build the life and the business of your dreams. So, let's get glowing. Welcome back to Grit to Glow. This is the podcast for the ambitious woman who is ready to tap into their power and scale their business with strategy and soul. So today I have the incredible privilege of introducing to you a powerhouse of a human and my first ever guest on Grit to Glow, who has helped countless entrepreneurs to be able to lock in 20 to 50K cash months and attract premium clients on repeat. She is none other than the money-making queen herself, Kim Arneson. Kim, I'm so excited to have you here today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here, Naomi. I am so excited to pour into this space and just have like an epic conversation that for all of your listeners is going to make them fucking move. Let's just call that a day.
Yeah. Yes, you guys, if you're ready to level up and hear truly about scaling from both the energetic and strategic standpoint, buckle up, honestly, because this episode I think is going to blow so many minds. And just knowing you and your story and the power of all that you're doing in your world right now with your clients, like the conversation we're about to have, I know is going to bring so much value for so many people. So can you tell me and tell our listeners your story and really like the journey that the last couple of years has been for you?
Yeah, for sure. So just like I'll do a very shortened version, otherwise like I'm going to be telling you about like my great Aunt Laverne or some shit. So short story. I graduated from college. Oh my God, I'm like, we're already going too far. I graduated from college, and when I graduated, it was the '08 recession. And so when that happened, I couldn't find a job in my actual prospective career. And in the end, I took like a part-time teaching job that like whatever I could do, I was going to do. And after 1 year, it was a not-for-profit private educational institution. After 1 year, I got promoted to the director of the facility. And what I didn't know, because I didn't know the numbers, I was just like an employee there. I had no idea what was going on behind the scenes. What I didn't know is that I walked into a situation where they were literally on the verge of closing their doors. And in 1 year, I took them from $80,000 to $250,000 in cash. I was 22 years old. I was leading a team of women who were literally double my age. I was hiring, I was firing, I was doing the budgets. They didn't have a website. I had to teach myself how to build a website. They didn't have a tagline. I had to learn about branding and business development. They didn't have a reputation. I had to go out and network and I had to facilitate that. Okay. So like I did that for 11 years straight. It was a fucking sexy gig at the time. It was so aligned. It felt like really deeply fulfilling. Then, you know, when 2020 happened and we all had our existential crisis as the fucking world shut down, I went into an insane, like dark night of the soul, if you will, because I had to lay off my entire team and myself. Because this was a not-for-profit educational center, I didn't have a boss. There was a board of people, but like I've always been my own boss, literally since 22. There was never somebody that was like, I was always the leader. I was always the one in control, right? And so the board basically gave me full creative vision. And so when this happened, it was like, this is the outcome. This is the money. It's black and white. When I laid everybody off, I literally felt, oh my God, like my world just came crumbling down because I was like, if I'm not this thing, then what the fuck am I? Who am I? And I went through this like really deep spiritual journey. In the end, realized I'd been coaching women for the last 11 years. Like literally that's what I did the entire time. So I created an online coaching business, except for I went into the realm of spiritual life coaching. And it was more so because of where I was at in my journey and what I had overcome already and like the identity of who I embodied. And month one of that business, after like going all in, I hit $20,000 cash. And I realized, oh, bitch, come on, honey. You're actually more oriented towards business. Like that's why you were able to hit a 20K cash month. If you didn't have the marketing skill set, the business development, the grit, the determination, all of this, it wouldn't have happened. So actually you need to pivot, which I did. It took me like 6 months to accept that. And then once I pivoted, and I had a business partner at the time too. So once we pivoted from spiritual life coaching into business coaching, we did that together for another year and a half, 2 years or so. Our business had gotten to 10K cash months. I think I had hit it 15 months in a row or so before I realized that I wanted to go on my own 2 feet. And so during that time, my business partner and I, we grew a fucking brand to 46,000. I had 40,000 on TikTok and we had 6,000 on Instagram and we were fucking killing the game, doing all the things, whatever. But in that moment, I knew that this was no longer aligned for me and I knew I had to let it go. And so I had the hard conversation. Everything was peachy keen, everything was fine. And then in September of 2023, is it September? Yeah, it was September. September of 2023, September 14th. Yep, that's it. September 14th of 2023, I closed down my 46,000 brand. I gave my audience 24 hours to convert and join me on Instagram. I decided I didn't want to do, or I started back with TikTok, but I wasn't even converting people there. I wasn't even drawing people into that space. But anywho, I gave people 24 hours and 80 people followed me out of all of those 46,000. That was it. 24 hours, 80 people. That was just like the way content was churning that day. That was, a lot of people would have been like, okay, I'm not going to turn this off. I'm going to market myself more. And I was like, fuck it. I'm not doing that. We're just doing a clean, energetic slate. Did it. Started all over. Month one in my brand with 80 followers. I grew to 120, a whopping 120 followers in 1 month, right? And I hit $11,000 cash in hand that month. And ever since then, it's been an upwards trajectory. So at this point, I have over $30,000 secured in MRR. I think I'm at about 35 to 40,000. I have to actually look at that after the last couple of days and more sales came in. About 35 to $40,000 in MRR. I help my clients obviously secure 20 to 50K cash themselves. But in addition to it, this is more so about building a really solid business that sets you up to be able to add an additional $10,000, $20,000 in MRR every fucking month. Every fucking month. But it's because you're building a really incredible knockout brand that is set up for scalability, which is the whole premise of this conversation. You cannot get here if you're not set up for scalability. That's the first piece, I think. But what's your hot take on that, Naomi?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think there's so often, especially when we look at like the coaching industry as a whole, right? When you have this conversation, and even for me, like in the service provider space, it's like it's a little bit different because it's more of like a hands-on role. But even with that, it's like there comes a point where you're going to cap out. Like you have to look at it from so many different standpoints. But you specifically, you're working with clients, you're like 20 to 50K months. Like if you want to get to that point, you have to set yourself up with certain foundations to be able to scale. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And so really, I love that you focus on that with your clients because it really, and I remember us having a conversation earlier on in our relationship where you were like, the foundations, like it's really just going back to the foundations, mastering those, and then setting yourself up so that you can continue to grow as much as you want. And it's so true. I think there has to be this energetic shift there, so to speak, of, you being ready to take that to the next level and understanding those foundational components so that you can make that shift for yourself. So I think in that way, it's like, for me, I would love to hear from you. What do you believe is the most important shift somebody has to make energetically to be able to make that happen, to be able to be ready to scale to that level?
Okay, I love this question, Naomi. I'm going to dive into it from a couple of different angles because I think the first thing that has to exist is you have to cut the shit. Like, and when I mean that, I mean that. And I like lovingly cut the fucking shit. What's the fucking shit? Stop trying to quantum leap. Stop it. Like genuinely, this is the industry. This is the bane of my existence with the industry. And it's because when I have people come in and like I hear their stories and I see your struggles and I see what you've gone through and I'm like, oh my God, if this fucking industry didn't indoctrinate people to like think that they can come online, make $30,000, hit $30,000 every fucking month, if we actually just talked about the things that you had to focus on and prioritize to get there, you'd be there so much faster. That's why one of my taglines that I say all the time is you've got to slow down to speed the fuck up. Like that is just how it works. It's mastering these foundations. So one angle of this is like from an energetic perspective, you've got to stop trying to quantum leap. Go back to actual high cash month foundational mastery. When you have that, you have something like that literally most people in the industry don't have. You know what your messaging is. You know what your highest deliverable outcome is. You know the lead gen work that you need to be doing. You know the money making moves. You know the angles for your content, the positioning, the authority driven, like all of this aspect, you know it all. And now it's more so about playing. And that is like really like a lot of people talk about like refinement, which it is. It's all refinement, except for I fucking love having fun in my business. Like I love helping my people have a lot of fun in their business. And so for me, it's like once we master the foundations, and you literally do that on repeat, rep after rep, until you've got a launch pad of like $10,000 to $20,000. Oh my God, babe, now we get to play. We get to play the fuck out of this thing. Like you get to elevate your identity. You get to create this brand identity and brand persona that is a direct reflection of who you are, like at the true depths of your power. At the true depths of your power. And it feels like it's so juicy. It's just you. Like there are days where I wake up and I'm like, I can't even believe that I get to do what I get to do. Like the conversations that I'm having on any given day are all over the fucking place. But like when my husband hears like a snippet of a conversation that I'm having, like I can hear him in the background being like, the fuck is she talking about? I'm like, yeah, this is the life that I've created. This is the business that I've created, is getting to have like really transformational conversations at any given day, both from an energetic standpoint and the strategic standpoint. So it is like you've got to cut the shit. You do have to slow down to speed the fuck up. But then also like from a leadership perspective, I know you think, and I'm not like this, I'm talking to your listeners right now. I'm just going to speak to the soul of somebody for sure right now. I know that you think that you're leading yourself really strongly right now. Point blank though, babe, you're not. And I wish somebody would have pulled the rug out on me a long time ago and said to me, this level of leadership is never going to lead to 20 to 50K cash months. You need to be more intentional. You need to be more strategic. You need to have a fucking content strategy. You need to have your highest deliverable outcome nailed down. You cannot just be showing up in the vibes and in the energy and like, come on, get unstuck in my world. You're going to love it. Like it's not going to fucking flow. It's not going to work. And so for me, it's like the truth is like coming back into the realization that you're going to have to elevate your leadership in a way that you are not moving right now. And so that means more intentionality. That means no longer whipping out a post when it's alive for you or showing up when you feel alive. It means actually slowing down to gain the clarity so that it's clear for your audience instead of just like, listen, I'm all about messy action, but like messy clear action. Can we do that? Like, can we do that instead? Right? Like that's the level of leadership that we have to pull. And then in addition to it, the last component here before I shut up, the last like really big component here is this realization of you have got to let yourself be seen as a woman of influence. You have got to let yourself be seen as a woman in her power. For whatever fucking reason, society has conditioned women specifically. This is not an issue men have. This is an issue women have alone. We have been conditioned to believe that we cannot be powerful. And if we're powerful, what the fuck's going to happen? Is our partner going to want to leave? Are we going to be too much? Are we not going to belong? Society tells us as women, we need to be X, Y, Z. But the truth is, we're in a woman-dominated industry. And guess what? These women want fucking high caliber in their power leaders. You want to know how you can start to attract in people who are looking for that type of leader? By being the one who goes first, by being the one that is here to revolutionize, who's here not to mimic, but she's here to innovate. She pulls forward more power and potency and personality into everything she does because she knows she's a high fucking caliber leader in any given moment. Her aesthetic, her vibe, it doesn't shift. I don't care if I woke up and I had my period. I don't care if I woke up and I'm bloated as fuck. I don't care if I woke up and it's like, oh, I had a glass of champagne last night. I'm not feeling whatever. Like, no, bitch, you are a wildly powerful woman and you are in your power no matter what the fuck is going on. And it's like that level that we need to really start to own in ourselves so that we can actually slather the internet with that level of power. But that's like the true gap that exists is most people won't let themselves be powerful.
Man. Yep. It's so true. It's so true. And I think it's such an interesting conversation too, because as even in this space, like my listeners, I'm, shifting who I'm speaking to really. But I know even in the level of leader, the level of woman, the caliber of client, like I am shifting into working with, a lot of them are still moms. And so even with that, it's like there's that also holding the role of being in that space and showing up in motherhood and like being a mom and allowing yourself to say it's also okay to want more than just that. Like for so long, even myself, like there was this piece of me that was like, is it okay? Like, should I want this? Is that selfish? I see all these high level leaders and people, women going for their goals that are moms, and I'm like secretly behind the scenes, like, do I want to be that mom that's traveling away from my kids? Like, do I want, and it's, those are real thoughts, right? And I own those thoughts. And I also realized for myself, I'm like, who am I to put a glass ceiling on any other fucking woman out there? Who am I to do that? Like, that is not what I stand for. So why am I allowing myself to allow those beliefs in, even as I look at other women and how they're, running their business or driving their mission and values and through their whatever it is in their world that they're working on, right? It's like, damn, okay. And it was almost this like reality check for myself of what do I believe? What do I know to be true? What do I want to speak to? And this level of energetics in my business and, for so many women in this industry, it's like there is this piece of, I think you need to really get clear on the foundational pieces of what you do and who are you? What
Yeah.
do you stand for? And like, if you do stand for breaking through those glass ceilings, then like you need to do some self-work if you're having those thoughts. Like I really had to come to with myself and be like, I'm still allowing myself to have the guilt, to have the shame, to have the ego around certain things and like didn't even fucking realize it for so many pieces of myself. And I'm like, well, shit, that's why I'm limiting myself. Like a lot of it isn't even the strategy. We're so focused on the strategy, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but it's like there is this huge piece for women specifically of us living in this space of like limiting ourselves. And it's like, you gotta own it. You just gotta own who you are and allow yourself to say, like, it's okay to have everything that you want.
Well, yeah. And like what you just said to me in my head is like you raised the standard for who you were being. Excuse me, because you recognized that you, to get to where you're going to be and to where you want to go, you're going to have to lead yourself differently. Right?
Yep.
Like that's just the truth of it, which means when you hear that in the industry, it's like, oh, you've got to lead yourself differently. What does that mean? You have to shift your thought process. Literally, I don't give a fuck if you have a mental mind drama spiral, literally kick it in the back seat right the fuck now. Don't make it mean anything and let's keep going, right?
Yep.
You have to actually look at the previous belief systems that you've built your entire business upon and honestly, your entire life on. So it's
Yep.
like, are you too much? Are you too shiny? That's all bullshit. Get rid of the thought. It's not even real. I love to say it's either a dirty little brain lie or it's a thought error. Doesn't matter. Regardless,
Yep.
wrong. And then it's also like looking at kind of like the subconscious beliefs. And I think this is like the deeper aspect that you were just talking about here, Naomi, is very much okay, but I want these things. I'm asking for more. And I love Victoria Washington. I love when she said this one aspect, but she said, oftentimes we ask for more and then we shrink for less. That's what's really going on here is like what's happening is consciously we want to go somewhere, but subconsciously something's coming through to say, you can't do that. If you do that, it means that you're this thing. And if you're that thing, that's a fear. We don't want to be seen that way. We don't want to be known that way. And so really we have to actually unpack and untangle some of that shit. And I know you and I have had this conversation, right? Like healing and like doing the deeper work. You guys, like truthfully, from 2020, and I had been doing this work already, ready for this, for a decade prior to 2020. I started doing like self-development, personal development work. I started calling myself out, doing journaling, all of that stuff. So that was a decade. 2020 hit for 3 fucking years straight, right? 2020, yeah, something like that. 3.5 years straight. Every single day, I literally was doing this level of energy work on myself, cleaning up constant belief systems, cleaning up things that like I couldn't see that I like were coming out in journal sessions or thoughts that were coming out. And it was like, where the fuck did all this come from? Right. But also, here's the truth. I wasted fucking time, you guys. You do not need to heal every goddamn block that exists in your body. You do not need to overcome every single fucking subconscious belief. You need to rise above your subconsciousness. And I think a lot of people don't understand this concept. We're going to get woo woo as fuck here, but you know me, Naomi. I am both like a strategic bitch and
Bring it.
really woo woo bitch. But like the way that I perceive this is that it's like we have our consciousness, we have our subconsciousness. We have, so really it's like you are your consciousness, then you have your subconscious, then you have your nervous system, and then you have your brain. And it's all of these things that are literally feeding together. But the thing is like what's happening with most people is they give their power to their emotions and now their emotions run the show. Or they give their power to their brain and now their brain, their shitty thoughts, are running the show. Because your brain is like hardwired for fucking negative confirmation bias, you guys. It is literally going to keep you small on purpose, okay? So we either hand our power over to our nervous system or we hand our power over to our brain. Bitch, your consciousness is the power. You are the power. Have the conversations. This is going to be woo. Have the conversations with your nervous system. Have the conversations with the brain to actually regulate these pieces and bring them into harmony. And literally, I'm in control. I still have limiting beliefs in the background. Are you kidding me? Of course we're going to have limiting beliefs in the background. And I could sit here and rattle off like 50 of them, I'm sure, if I were to like actually think about it. But the truth is not a single one of those beliefs are ever going to stop me because I'm the one in the driver's seat.
Yep.
This is deep level of like emotional intelligence and really understanding our body at a really deep cellular level to understand that most of us are living limited lifestyles because we're letting our nervous system imprinting and our experiences dictate the show, or we're letting our lived experiences and thoughts that were created, the narratives that were created off of those experiences, dictate the show. None of it means anything. And I think like that's the aspect, like from like a really deep personal level, that's the work that I like really had to do. And I did that for like, this is so ingrained in me. It's so innate. That's why like I had a one-to-one call right before this and she was like, have you always been this way, Kim? Like, have you always been this confident and like convicted? And like, you just say shit. And I'm like, oh my God, like seriously, Kim. And I'm like, no, I haven't always been this way. Right. Like this is all like a giant evolution that we're going through. You just have to decide who the fuck you want to be. You have to decide what you want to hold in this lifetime. So like back to the scalability aspect, here's like a whole nother concept. You know, like years ago, I used to say to myself, I would love if I had 30 clients. I would love if I had, 10 one-to-one clients and I had 10 in a group program and I had 10 blah, 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 blah. Bitch, the reason I wasn't attracting at 30 clients is because I was fucking terrified of what holding that level of responsibility, what that was going to do for me. Was that going to send me into a tizzy? Was that going to rock my nervous system? Was that going to put me down a mental spiral? Like, can I support these people? Can I hold this many people? What if they get a result? What if they don't get a result? What if somebody cancels me? What if somebody hates the experience? Like, all of it. And now I'm like, right now I can flat out say I have no idea how many people are in my world. I would venture to guess we are around 35 humans or so in some way, shape, or form are all my paying clients. I am holding all of these individuals. I am holding the ups and downs of like their own personal journey where, for fuck's sake, one day, like I was just telling Naomi, like it was my birthday this past weekend. My mother-in-law was in the hospital. It was also my dad's death anniversary the day after my birthday. I can hold all that. I can hold a client coming in and being like, fuck, these clients defaulted. Fuck, my husband is declaring bankruptcy. Fuck, my husband cheated on me. I can hold the conversations of like, this is not my brand identity anymore. This is not this. This is not that. I can hold somebody coming in and having a moment where they're like, am I ever gonna make a sale? Like it feels like it's been weeks since I've made a sale. And I'm like, honey, you made one yesterday. Shut the fuck up. Like, yeah, let's do a little bit of a reality check here, okay? But I can hold all of that and carry that responsibility with me, and it doesn't weigh me down. And that's the energetic holding capacity that people talk about so often, is that right now you think you want all these things, but can you even hold it? Can you navigate that? What if, like, honestly, ask yourself, anybody listening, ask yourself, if you had 30 fucking clients right now, and 5 of those clients came in today. 2 were asking for a refund. 1 was pissed off about some shit that was going on. 1 was having a mental drama spiral all day fucking long. And 1 person was like, I just hit my highest cash month ever. How does that feel for you? And if immediately you're like, oh my God, that's overwhelming, that's scary, that's the work that you need to do.
Yep.
That's the work. But from like this, the strategy aspect, what you were just talking about here, Naomi, like the strategy aspect to scalability, it's so funny. It's like it's not that complicated. It has to get done, but most people won't even do it. That's the first thing. Um, and from like a scalability perspective, everybody's businesses are so unique to them, but if your systems aren't in place to support your increased holding capacity, the new flow of clients that are coming in, you're going to fall flat. You're going to have a high cash month. You're going to have unhappy clients because like the actual client experience isn't mapped out. Not everything is laid out for them. Um, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to navigate and manage all of these things. It's impossible. To be honest, it's impossible. There is no fucking way that I would be in the position I'm in right now without an OBM, without having somebody who is doing my graphic design work, without having a bookkeeper, without having mentorship. Like it literally in fucking possible. And I'm like somebody who doesn't believe in impossibility. And yet I'm still saying that it would be impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're making that shift, right? Into going from being an entrepreneur who's running this cute Instagram business to like, okay, if I truly want to scale a company, an organization, a mission, like all of these pieces, it's like that shift, even just hearing that for most people, it's like the weight of being like, oh yeah, I run an Instagram business to I run a company. Like the responsibility and the association with that, it's like when I think companies, I think like Apple, Nike, like large name corporations, right? And if you truly want to scale a 7, 8, 9-figure business and that in your head is like, oh, well, it's far off in the future. It's like, yes, but do you want that? And if you do want that, what does that look like? All
Yeah.
of those companies started somewhere, right? All of those organizations had to start somewhere. And oftentimes, as they're beginning to form their ideas, it's like those people are doing what? They're investing in not just working with high-level leaders and mentors, they're also working to increase, their marketing and their sales operation. They're working with people to manage their finances and see all of that at a glance and be able to know and understand their business every single month, not just I think I have about X amount of dollars coming in. It's like, no, you know your numbers because you have somebody who's managing all of that for you. And so I think that's so true. And just knowing your story, I would love to kind of dig into that a little bit too, so that, listeners can hear that journey and what that looked like for you in that shift back. It was like November, December, right? That you made the decision to hire.
Oh, so honestly, no, Naomi, this is insane. So literally full blown, so I didn't even get up to the blow up season, if you will. Okay. So like back to my story. Yeah. So like I built this brand month one, had an 11K cash in hand month. I started attracting in wild clients in the industry. Some of the top names were coming into my client roster. It was absolutely fucking amazing. It still is absolutely amazing. I love these humans. And then in November, I went to an in-person event and I knew, you guys, like this is another energetic thing. I went to this in-person event and I already knew I was like, I'm walking out of here with 50K in sales. Easy, because I trust myself. I know my fucking power. I know my energy, my leadership. I show up in a room. I'm the bitch with the most energy in the room. It's just going to happen. Yep. And so I walked out of there. I didn't walk out with $50,000 in sales. I walked out with $134,000 in sales in 27 days. And then I hit 200,000 plus in 60 days. So mid-November, I had just hit $134,000 in sales. And I was like, fuck me. You need a team today. Like today. So I kid you not. Now, you guys, full fun fact. I was not in relationship with Naomi the way that I was at the time. So like, the universe does her thing, but like Naomi and I have got a relationship now. It's great. But anywho, so I reached out to my one-on-one coach and I said, who's your OBM? Do you trust this individual? How long have they worked with you? Tell me a little bit about her. She gave me the 411. I reached out to her. We got on a call literally 5 minutes later because she was randomly available. First 5 seconds I got on the call, I said, I'm going to hire you. I didn't ask her pricing. I didn't ask what was included. I just knew right from the get-go, this is what we're going to do. Like, I'm hiring you. It is what it is. When I hired my bookkeeper, so that was mid-November, or no, I'm sorry, mid-December. She didn't start till January. So we had a lot of cleanup work to do, you guys. Like this is the truth. Like now, in retrospect, would I have done this work earlier? To be honest, it's like kind of like maybe it shook out the way it shook out and it's working out just fine. And I am personally somebody that loves to show people like the messy middle, and also this is my 1-3-ness in my reflector aspect. but I love to show the messy middle. And I also love to show that like we overcomplicate the fuck out of stuff. Like for so long, I didn't have a portal. I didn't have fucking crazy back end systems. I didn't have anything. I had a PayPal link and I had a Google Drive. That's all I did. I did that for a really long time. That supported me to getting to 20K cash months. So it's like that is the truth of it from that lens. But I knew right there that 20K cash month, I could not keep operating the way that I was operating if I did not get the right support. So that OBM came in and she's fucking fantastic. I love her. OBMs literally hire an OBM. I can't even say more. I mean, honestly, like every one of my one-to-one clients, they are all now in a position where they're hiring OBMs themselves. And everybody says it's an immediate like, oh my God, why didn't I do this earlier? Oh my God, I didn't know that I didn't need to be doing XYZ, that like an OBM, my business fucking bestie, could come in and actually help me and support me in this way and help me streamline some things and make me see things that maybe I don't even see or think about. It's a beautiful dynamic. And it allows you then to really prioritize your energy in money-making moves, like, and being in relationship with your clients and like anything else, like that's not actually supporting you into scaling your business. You might think it is, but bitch, I'm telling you, sitting on that Google Drive, like, oh, let me create my own sales page. Let me make my own imaging. Let me do the contract. You don't need to be fucking doing that, period. And so, yeah, so I hired that OBM, do it. It's amazing. And then literally like 3 weeks later, I was like, I have way too much fucking money coming in. And that's the truth of it. Is like I sat there and I was like, I have way too much money coming in. I need a financial bookkeeper right now who is going to be fully on my shit on lockdown. And again, for her, she literally sent me her quote. Or no, she sent me her, like, this is what the package would include. And I right away was like, I don't really care how much it costs. I'm in. Just like sign me up, send the contract. Let's fucking go. Again, that was a referral that I got from somebody too. But yeah, making these moves, which honestly, now that I say that, so I worked with my OBM for a couple of months and immediately when it was time to renew, and I said to her, you guys, and this is just how you should be in relationship with your team. Let's just go ahead and say that. I trust my OBM because I look at her as a wildly empowered person. She is a part of my team. She is like a business partner, if you will. I will not be in the position I'm in without her. So when it was time to renew, I point blank said to her, what gaps do you see in what I'm not doing right now that you could fill? Do you believe that you need more time in my business to take this thing to the next level? Or do you feel like what you're doing right now is adequate? And she immediately said, we need to increase my hours. And I immediately said, done fucking deal. Like it literally was a place, and this is just honestly, this is my expertise of growing a team and like having to be at the helm of a team for 11 plus years. Yeah. If you do not empower your team members with trust, with complete certainty and conviction in who they are and see them in the most empowered light, this is their fucking genius, man. Trust them. Trust them, trust them, trust them. Invest in your goddamn team because I'm here to tell you, without that team, without the people who are doing it, you're never going to fucking hit the income goals that you do. Or if you do, it's going to be wildly messy and you're going to backtrack. We don't want to do that. Just fucking invest where you know you need to invest. And so like, I think like that's the other aspect, Naomi. I really wanted to bring this conversation forward because of this like realization for me. It was like an immediate, like, I don't look at these investments in my team as like the same investment as mentorship. To be honest, my team is more valuable than the mentorship. And I think that's a reframe that most people actually need when they're scaling their business. You're conditioned in the industry to believe that mentorship and business coaching is the most important investment you're going to make. And like, there's a season for that. But now at this point, no, the most important investments I'm going to be making is in building an adequate team that I can get behind, that we are all wildly empowered, that I trust that they're in their lane, they're in their zone of genius. I don't need to micromanage. I don't care how many hours you're working or not working. You're getting your shit done? Cool. I feel good. You feel good. Sounds great.
Yep. It's so good. It's so true too, because I know we've had this conversation before. And it's like even the piece, I don't know if you saw, I had posted like a a quote the other day on my Instagram, but it's if you hire someone just because they can do a job, they'll work for your money, right? If you hire someone who believes what you believe and is aligned with you, they will work for literally their blood, sweat, and tears and work with you and pour into you in a way that is exactly what you're saying. And it's so true. Even in my business, like as I've grown, I am really, really passionate about reminding leaders like yourself of that because it's so important to know that what you said about, the industry is really, it's a misconception, but it's also, I think what I'm learning is there's this lack of like education around it and really understanding. And when it goes back to thinking about it, like we talked about earlier, from a lens of growing a corporation, corporations don't bat an eye at how much they're paying their marketing. Like they know that marketing has a huge ROI. They know that when they invest in marketing and bring on the right people, that they're going to get their money in tenfold, really. And so it's like when you think about, okay, I'm in this space of like energetically, I'm feeling myself, I'm growing, there's evidence that I'm already scaling, and I know that if I pour into more, I will receive more. There's the strategy piece that comes in of like, well, find the right person who's there to do it with you and be willing to look at them as what you said. It's an investment in your business, and also it's a powerful investment because yeah, you can continue to pour into mentorship, but we all know this to be true, right? I invest in myself, you invest in yourself. I'm willing to bet most of my listeners invest in themselves to some capacity, but it's like if you invest in mentorship, you go in with this mindset of I'm coming here to grow. And most people who are running 5 and 6 figure income a month businesses know that when you go into mentorship with somebody, you're going to take pieces and parts of it. You're not there for all of it. There's going to be stuff that doesn't resonate with you because you're past it. There's also going to be stuff that's beyond where you need to be right now, right? And so you kind of have this middle ground of like, I'm coming for what I need. And that's the beauty of mentorship. When you're investing in a team, they're giving you everything you need with their investment. They're giving you all of the value that you need for your business right then. And most of the time, especially in the OBM world, it's like those people are set up and know like their stuff on the back end to grow with you and are available and there for you. And so it's like if you have somebody fully available for you in your business, that is a high value agreement,
Oh my God, 100%. 100%. And like I even look at it, it's like when I ran the previous business that I ran, like even when I look at like my team, like I had an entire staff of what I think it was like 8 individuals that were underneath me that I was leading. And when I look at those people, it's like there's no fucking way that I would have gotten that place to where I needed to get it to go without that team. Right? It's the same thing here. There's no fucking way that I'm going to be able to do this all myself. And honestly, if you operate that way, you're operating in scarcity.
Yep.
And like that's another aspect that's something like that probably should be talked about. It's like if you're worried about investing in your team, you're not operating out of a true abundant mindset. If you're nickeling and diming your team, you're missing the fucking point.
Yeah.
Like a literal high quality team, kind of like what you were just talking about here, Naomi, of individuals who like are going to pour into you because they pour into the belief behind what you're doing, right? Like they really can get behind you. Having an entire team, I mean, think about it from a fucking energy perspective. Jesus. Like when you have an entire team of people who have a core energetic mission together, that everybody is moving towards this thing at faster rates, what happens? This is where the quantum leap comes in, right? You actually then do quantum leap. So now we're like coming full circle because I talked some shit about quantum leaping at the beginning of this. But here's the thing. It's like, again, that slow down to speed up process. Slow down. Hire your team. Train your team. Have the brand conversations with your team. Let them all come together. Pull their unique geniuses to the surface. Let them play. Let them be empowered individuals. See them in the highest light. Don't like... You are not the pedestal, bitch. Like, that's what I really want to say is like your entire team needs to be on the same fucking playing field as you. When you are that way, the energy of what you are all bringing to the table is unfucking stoppable. Yep. It's unfucking stoppable. versus like hiring, like nickel and diming your staff, or maybe it's like, I'll hire an OBM for 3 months and then like I don't need one. Or like I'll hire somebody to do like a couple of pieces of brand design work, but like fuck the rest of my brand. None of that matters. Right. Like when we nickel and dime these moments, we're still like half-assing where we're going.
Yep.
And I think it's like that's the perspective. It's like honestly, like I just operate fucking differently. I think that's what, like, when it boils down to it, I operate fucking differently because I look at this and it's like, I want my team to feel just as empowered as I do. Like,
Yep.
I want my team to be on the exact same playing field with me. I mean, like, even my OBM the other day, I asked her personally, I said, hey, is how I'm showing up in this container the most supportive for you to do your work?
Mm.
Is there something else you would like me to do? Is there something where you would like me to place things in a different way? I just want to make sure that our working dynamic is, because I know she's got a ton of clients. I want to make sure that our working dynamic is suiting your work life as much as it's suiting my expectations. And immediately she sent me crying tears and she was like, you're my favorite fucking client, Kim. Like, you are literally the person who sees me, who values my time, who sees my zone of genius, who, like, I'm not in a rush for anything. Even when I want to get something out that day, it'll happen. If it happens 2 hours later than I think, I don't fucking care. It's really
Yeah.
not big of a deal, right? But also that's like the zoom out aspect of holding your team with the same reverence that you hold yourself.
Mm.
Like the industry loves to talk about, and this is a fuckery thing, right? Like the industry loves to talk about how, we should hold high standards and like how you as a client show up in your mentor's space. Like, don't take up too much space. Don't send too long of audios. Don't like think that your questions are going to get answered the same day, right? Like we set these standards, and then yet when you're investing in team support, you don't hold that standard for that person.
Yep.
That's
Yep. It's like, I want you available 24/7. Oh, you're not? What's going on?
yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that is
Yeah.
not how this works. And again, like, that's why I have a really unique ability at growing team atmospheres that people want to be a part of it. Like, quite literally, like, that's why when I look at that 11-year stint that I had, those like 8 people, the entire time, I had to fire one fucking person because she was something. Let's just call her a cunty cunt. Let's just call her that. Right? And so, yes, that bitch had to go. That bitch had to go. And I replaced her, but the entire rest of the staff remained the exact same. When I was in an industry with the highest turnover rate at that point, it had one of the highest turnover rates. To be honest, it still has a really high turnover rate. My team stayed the same for how many years? What did that do? It lent more conviction and confidence for our customers, for our clients, because it was literally like, it's the same people over and over again. Like, I literally trust you guys just from that alone. You're unique now. You have a unique selling point compared to everybody else. So again, it's like the really caring about your fucking team and not just looking at them as like a transactional source to get what you want.
Yep. Yeah. It's so important too. And I think that there's so much of it that ties into, we're talking about energetics and strategy. And it's like, if you really want to find a balance in the two, in my industry, in the service industry, there is a lot of turnover, right? Like, I have had so many clients over the last 18 months and a lot of times, because I primarily work with a lot of coaches, it's like, oh, I'm going to scale back on investing in my VA or investing in my OBM because I need to invest in more coaching in order to do X, Y, and Z. And it's really, and this is a big part of why I've shifted, the way that I do business and bringing in that consulting and strategy to my work to help support clients through that. Because I think there's so much of this mindset of like, well, I need to get the energetics and the strategy and the coach. And so I'm going to hire the mentor. And to your point, it's like, when you have the right team, they've done that work. They've done that groundwork for themselves because, hi, they're scaling a business too. And so when you think about it from that lens, it's like you're bringing in somebody who's not only capable and competent, but like really genuinely cares about the work they're doing for their clients in their business. And you bringing in a team who believes in, one, your values and is aligned with your values, and two, has their own really strong anchored in values, like, that's a powerhouse force. And so being able to create your own strategy and bring a team in that has your back on that, like, that is invaluable, right?
100%. 100%. And I think like I love what you just said here, and I like really want to hammer this home. I know that we're probably getting to the end of our hour, but what you just said here about how so many people are like, I'm going to scale back on the team support and I'm going to invest in a coach, the energetics, because that's what I need. You guys, like, unpopular fucking opinion coming from a business mentor, okay? Unpopular fucking opinion. I don't need a coach. I quite literally don't fucking need a coach. I don't need a mastermind. I trust myself to create my own momentum. I put myself in coaching spaces because it's fun, because it's expansive, because I like doing it with somebody. I don't need a coach. I need a team. And I want you genuinely to hear that because there's a level of self-trust that I have created in myself to where I don't rely on coaching to get me to my next expansion. That's not why I invest. I'm always expanding. I'm always evolving. I don't need to put myself in the room to expand. I just need to put myself in the room to network, have fun. And to be honest, I walk into a space. If I'm investing in your mastermind, your clients are going to become my clients. It's just what happens. And so I invest differently for different fucking reasons. It's more fun. It's lighter. It's more of, and you guys, I want you to even hear this. Like at this point, for 2025, I've locked in $75,000 worth of investments. I'll probably have another 30 to 50,000 that I invest in addition to that. That's fun money. That's fun investments. The industry, again, has conditioned you to think that you need to get yourself into expansive rooms. What you really need to start fucking doing is trusting yourself. And then you need the team. Like that's the truth. And I think like if more people looked at things that way and like recognize that even like if you're trying to attract premium clients, I want you to think about this right now. When I'm making these investments, it's for fun. I am literally like, here's $30,000, put myself in that room. Let me get to know these people. Let me see her thought process. Let me whatever. Let me literally have a space where I get to celebrate myself. That's another fucking reason why I invest in those spaces, because I just celebrate the fuck out of myself nonstop. And it's a space that I get to do it in. But again, it's like, it's the self-leadership that is required, the self-trust that is required to where it's like, no, I don't need a coach. No, I don't need a mentor, but I get to have one because I get to have it all. Now, I do need that fucking team. I can't do this by myself. That is what you need to shift your energy into if you want to actually scale at much faster rates. And when you actually invest in the right support, the team support, you end up making more money. So guess what? You get to put yourself in bigger rooms anyway. It all works together. It's how the ecosystem works. But that team is in need. The coaching and the mentorship, you need to call yourself forward. You need to trust yourself more first and foremost. You don't need it. You get to have it. It's a fun, it's a bonus, it's a cherry on top.
Yep. Amen. Kim, thank you so much. This conversation today, I think, was so powerful, and it's going to bring so much insight to so many women. And honestly, it's just always such an honor to be able to like chat with you and get your wisdom around different parts of business, because as you said in the beginning, like this isn't your first rodeo. You've done this. There's proof behind, the work that you do, the skills that you have, and really, truly like having that insight. You guys, if your ears are not open by now, come on. Well, awesome. Well, I know that everybody's going to walk away with super actionable tips to use right now. But before we wrap things up, can you just share a little bit about how somebody can connect with you if they listen to this and they're like, oh my God, I need her in my corner?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So full transparency. I don't know. Your girl might be full for 2025 with one-to-one clients. I don't know at this point. I have a couple of client re-signs the next couple of months. We'll see. I have one more that I might be onboarding today. Your girl has a big heart, what can you say? So one-to-one client work is sort of out the window right now. But I do have a high-level mastermind that will be re-enrolling for a summer start date, usually like mid-July, early August. I also have my 10K Queen Machine, she is my baby. She is my offer that is really intended for you to slow down and speed the fuck up, right? Slow down to speed the fuck up. This is about foundational mastery of 10 to 20K cash months, getting really super clear in yourself and your identity, and the actual daily actionable steps that you need to be making that are money making moves on any given day. those are my core offers right in this moment. I do have a couple of things coming out towards the end of April, but we're going to just like, you come find me. My handles, I am Kim Arneson. I've got my links there. And like, regardless of anything, just come and say hi in my DMs. Like, that's how I facilitate all of my sales conversations. Yes, people go and buy the link and they do the thing, but honestly, I want to get to know you. I want to know your business. I want to know who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing the things, what your gaps are. I want to know all of that before you even come into my world. So come say hi and we'll just see where this thing goes.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you again, Kim. And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Grit to Glow. We will see you next week for our next episode of the 7-Figure series. And until then, keep scaling, keep shining, and keep glowing. Thank you for joining me for another incredible episode of Grit to Glow. If today's episode spoke to your heart or sparked an idea, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Be sure to screenshot this episode and tag me on Instagram at DesertLuxCreative. I always love connecting with you guys, so don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss a moment. And if you feel called to it, please leave a review so more women like you can find our show. Remember, the glow up is yours for the taking, so keep going, and I will see you in the next episode.